Paul, we'll start with your injury situation. How are your injured players today?
John McAtee's a doubt, so that's one that we'll have to make sure on before the weekend. Other than that, I think we pretty much as we were, Matt. So that's the only one.
Has John McAtee been able to do any training at all?
No, but to be fair, the lads haven't done much. Again, as usual, with a sort of recovery, a late sort of night for a lot of the lads, certainly the ones that travelled all the way back to Grimsby. So still much more on recovery. Had a chat today, this morning, and then some of them have done a little bit of training, some more just stretching, and then tomorrow will be more detail obviously about the opposition and what we want to do on Saturday.
Can you just clarify what John's injury is, please?
It's his knee, so some concern around the same sort of thing, and that's a little bit of a worry. Can't deny that, but we'll check on him just to make sure, to see whether he can take part in what should be a good game and a good atmosphere with what I've seen is a sellout crowd.
Does he need a scan on that?
We will do that, yeah, at some point.
So what are your worries at this point on that?
Oh, just that it could keep him out for some time, of course. Because some things aren't always obvious. Some injuries are blatantly. If someone breaks a leg, you know what's happening. With other things, you're sometimes not quite sure what's going on inside. So we will check up on that.
If he's all right. What about Harry Clifton? How's he?
Harry's been out there today, so fingers crossed. I'll be honest, I haven't touched bases yet, but certainly no one's come to me saying that there was any reaction to it. So I'm expecting Harry to be available.
How are your players who've had COVID?
All okay, yeah. So thankfully, that's the main thing. The health is important more than above anything else, and that's the case with them all. So frustrating more than anything for those players that are ruled out because of that.
Any players back for this weekend?
No, I don't think we've only got Sean Scannell in terms of the injuries. So a couple of lads, I think, like Louis Spokes, is returned from his loan, and he's still with us. So he's one that could come into the squad if needs be. The other couple of lads, I think we're just in talks about whether they go back out on loan, but officially their sort of loans have come to an end. That's Louis Adlaw, Jazz Goundry. But overall, in terms of the squad, that's kind of where we're at. Only Scans, the one really to come back.
Have you moved for or about to move for another striker ahead of the weekend?
I made some inquiries yesterday, but unfortunately one's been sort of was a no basically, and another one I wasn't happy with some of the maybe information I got back, so I decided against that one because as I keep saying, it's got to be right for the squad. So that's it's looking very likely that it will be the squad that we've got in place, and no new face in the building.
Do you have any more irons in the fire though?
Right now, not really, no. And again, that's not through a lack of trying or exhausting. I think pretty much every avenue that I want to look at. So you might see someone go out on loan elsewhere, but as I've said before, or a free agent, that's more probably the fact that I'm not interested in that player. So the squad's done extremely well. We know we're a little bit light. He's not getting away from that. However, I'm not going to bring someone in, even if it's a short-term fix, that I don't feel is right for us. And like I say, certainly one of the options I was looking at, I just couldn't justify to myself or the bigger picture for the club to make that move.
At what level were those two players that you were inquiring about?
One was Championship, one was League One.
Right, okay. Anybody getting a loan before the weekend of your current squad then?
No, I don't.
Upon Luke spoke there a moment ago.
Not what I know of, Matt, certainly. Again, that might be a phone call this afternoon, because I did say there was an interest, but at the minute I haven't heard anything about following that up.
Okay. What questions are you asking of your players after the other night going into the weekend?
I don't think you're always learning, and I think Saturday will be an interesting game from my point of view, as in there's no doubt some players didn't have the best night on Tuesday. That can happen, and you're looking for always looking for a reaction. But I think in reality, the game, or parts of the game, take care of itself. Like I said, a sellout crowd, a big club in our league coming to Blundell Park, a very good team that's had, I think, more possession than anyone else in games this season. Certainly a possession-based team, and that's something I think we've all got to be conscious of. As in, I think there'll be times on Saturday when we have to be without the ball. We played Wealdstone the other night. I think they're third on the stats. Second half, certainly, we had 81% possession, which was ridiculous.
Does that mean then you'll need the patience of the fans in this game?
At times, perhaps, yeah. We all want to be on top of the game. Of course you do, and we're at home. We want to try and take the game to Notts County, and in truth, no matter who we play against. But I think just the way they play, I've seen them against some other good teams already this season. They have large spells with the ball, and it's where they have that possession, and I guess how many times you can limit them to getting into opportunities to really hurt you is a way of doing that. Also, a decision of whether we press them, whether we sit off them, and again what areas we do that in are all part and parcel of being a manager and trying to set a team up to be successful.
What do you hope the lessons are learned from what happened the other night?
Maybe some of it is more not for Saturday, as in overall. Maybe some of that's moving forward just generally in the season. But there's some things that I want us to be more aggressive in his running. We need more quality at certain moments. Now that doesn't matter. That's just a fight. Like I said, we had all that possession, but didn't find, even if it's just one moment. We had a really good ball in the box. Luke's got his header. It's kind of hit the keeper more than anything. But the facts are that it didn't go in the net. And the other night we couldn't find, whether it was one piece of individual brilliance or whether it was as a collective, we didn't get on the score sheet. And we all know that if that happens, you're going to lose games. Might not always, but the other night when we were a goal behind in the first half, to have that much dominance second half, it was disappointing not to create more chances or work the keeper more.